Get paid to drive. Start a new career behind the wheel at the EMTA. If you are looking for a high-paying and rewarding career with full benefits and paid training, stop by or apply online today with the EMTA. Plus, EMTA riders can now enjoy free Wi-Fi on new, clean, and environmentally friendly buses to travel all over Erie County. Visit ridethee.com for more information.
Get on board EMTA. Get on board EMTA. Get
Quickfill gasoline is made right here in America. United Refining Company, who operates Quickfill, refines its gasoline from North American crude oil in Warren, Pennsylvania. When you buy United Refining Company gasoline at Quickfill, you keep jobs and businesses in America. And you keep American families strong. You don't need to send your money overseas when you buy gasoline. Buy American-made gasoline at Quickfill. Quickfill, driving America.
Welcome to TalkErie.com's Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast. Every day, we tackle the biggest issues that the Erie, PA region faces. Stay informed and involved as we advance the narrative of Erie. Now, here's Joel Natale.
We're talking about the Site Center of Northwestern Pennsylvania. And with us here is Linda Moore. She's the executive director. Shannon Wohlford. She's the director of marketing and annual fund. Ladies, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. This is fun.
We are going to have a blast today. Believe me or not.
I'll tell you, it wasn't fun getting here with all the construction.
Exactly.
But now that we're
we
here,
made it.
We made it.
You definitely made it. All right. So, tell us a little bit about your stories. Let's start with you, Linda. You grew up here, or did you transplant in? Yeah.
I'm a transplant, but it's been 34 years. I'm from Rochester, New York.
Rochester. What brought you to Erie?
A job.
Okay.
A job, an ex-husband's job.
Okay,
actually.
sure. Yeah.
But my background is in fundraising and public relations, and I've worked anywhere from education. I was at the University of Alaska at Anchorage in the Alumni Relations Office. And then the International Museum of Photography at George Eastman's house in Rochester.
Yeah.
Rochester General Hospital Foundation. All little 3-year stints.
Yeah.
And then I landed in Erie. And this person to my right introduced me to the then executive director of the Site Center, which used to be Erie Center for the Blind.
Right.
Our dear friend Tycho Swick.
Sure.
He was the director there for 46 years. And Shannon introduced the two of us in 1999, and it was kind of a love match.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to work for Tycho on June 9th, 1999, 26 years ago this week.
Yeah.
And I worked for him for 10 years. Then he retired. I took his job and hired him back, and he worked for me for the next 14 years.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, because he just recently retired, right? I mean,
at 83 years old.
Wow.
If we would have told him to listen in today, he would have been listening.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure of it. Maybe we can send him a tape.
you certainly can. I'm interested in, like, when you compare Anchorage and Erie in the middle of winter. Not much different, huh? Maybe lake effect a little bit more, but
It was a little colder and a lot darker. But besides that, not a whole lot different.
And you won't have a moose in your, on your lawn or anything.
Just maybe deer or something like that. How about you, Shannon? Come up here or not?
I am originally from Virginia. And
yeah.
I came to Erie with my husband, who works at the Times News, photographer. And I've been here ever since, but in the nonprofit realm since I came. Started at Achievement Center and then went to the Site Center. Had an experience with Blue Zones Project and found my way back to the Site Center, and so happy to be there.
Fantastic. Well, and it occurs to me that this is something that Erie can be proud of, is to be able to be attractive to fundraising professionals and nonprofit, professionals and C-level executives. I mean, that Erie holds its own with kind of that superpower,
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean.
Oh, I definitely think so. I actually attended a nonprofit partnership event this morning that was all for nonprofit CEOs. And I called them afterwards to tell them how proud I was to be among that group.
Neat.
It was a really, really fascinating group of people very dedicated to their missions and improving the lives of people who live right here in our community.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk about specifically how the Sight Center improves the lives of people in our community here. And I'm coming in with a bias of saying maybe now more than ever the state of chronic disease is creating issues that the Sight Center is having to bring value to. And number one is diabetes, type 2 diabetes, right? I mean,
wow.
It's like the number one contributor to
I'm
eye
thrilled
failure.
that you know that and that you made that connection, because that's really, really important. And I feel like that's kind of, I mean, we never stray from our mission, which our mission is to prevent blindness and promote independence for those with vision loss or blindness. But when we, back in 2017, had an opportunity to partner with the CDC to start the National Diabetes Prevention Program here in Erie, it was a natural alignment for us, because that is part of our mission, to prevent blindness. And you hit the nail on the head there.
Well, I mean, because people think, okay, this is a genetic thing or something that happens at birth, and yes, it does. But you can lose your sight after 50, 60, 70 years of life.
Yep, you are exactly
and
right.
people are not prepared for that outcome, are they?
And I'm going to skip forward a little bit to tell you that 1 in 3 adults is pre-diabetic and doesn't even know it.
Right.
And so we know that we have a problem here in our community with diabetes, type 2 diabetes specifically. And we know that we have an opportunity to prevent someone from losing their vision due to type 2 diabetes. And so we're really excited about that program, and it has been wildly successful. We are active in 10 counties.
Oh, wow.
Already. That's how much that program has grown. We have successfully graduated
1,200 people.
1,200 people?
1,200 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that's interesting that you brought that up, and we appreciate that, because a lot of people hear Sight Center and diabetes prevention, and they're not quite sure what that correlation is all about. So,
and again, they're putting you in a traditional box of okay, they supply help for glasses and eye exams and things, and those are still very part and parcel of what you do. But this whole concept of lifestyle change in order to prevent the blindness prevention piece has really been a kind of a recent development, right? How long have you been working in that space?
2017.
Okay.
And it was with the downfall of the Erie County Diabetes Association.
Okay.
In 2016, I tried to partner with them and bring them under the roof of the Sight Center. It seemed like a natural marriage to me. It seemed like a natural marriage to them. Our boards got together. Things looked like they were going to work out, and then something killed the deal, and 5 months later they closed their doors permanently. Wow. So in January of 2017, I called Lana Kunick, who I know you've met on this show, who was their prevention services coordinator at that time, and said, Lana, what are you doing? Let's start this thing all over again at the Sight Center. And so I hired her to do prevention at the Sight Center. She ran our preschool vision screening program and restarted the diabetes prevention program.
When you say preschool screening, what is that?
Oh, that's one of my favorite programs. If ever you want to be inspired, let's go to a preschool together.
Yeah.
The Sight Center has a contract with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to provide vision screening programs to children ages 3 to 6 in 7 counties. This is another little known fact about the Sight Center, is that we're not just in Erie. We serve Erie, Warren, McCain, Jefferson, Cameron, Elk, and Potter counties. And we do broad-scale pediatric vision screenings in all 7 of our counties. So if you have children, grandchildren in daycares, child care centers, preschools, pre-Ks, kindergarten registrations, we've been there to screen their vision over the last 60 years, I think we've been doing it.
And what are the benefits? Because do your eyes not change? I guess I mean, for a parent, how does a parent understand the importance of a preschool pre-screening?
That's a great question, because a lot of parents will say to me, "Well, wouldn't I know if my kid couldn't see?" No. Parents don't see how their children are or are not seeing, and little children don't know how they're supposed to see. So they don't have the language to say, "Gee, my vision is clearer in my right eye than it is in my left eye." So we have to screen them, and we use specialty equipment that actually does a very quick instant exam of the retina, and we can get a good reading on what their visual acuity is, how the two eyes are working together, which is called binocularity. If you think about a pair of binoculars, our eyes work very similarly. They need to be focused and working together as a pair in order to work appropriately. You know, the other thing that a lot of people don't know about children's vision is that we're not born with a full set of visual skills. Those develop over the first 6 or 7 years of life. An infant at birth can only see 14 to 17 inches, which coincidentally is about the distance from a caregiver's elbow to that caregiver's eyes. And that's what an infant is designed to focus on. As we grow and develop, that distance vision increases.
Wow.
There is such a thing as, oh boy, let's not get into the weeds about this, Linda. But there are a number of visual skills that a child needs to learn and needs to be developed. And it involves the eyes, the brain, and the hands.
Are there tools for parents to kind of just, as you're reading a book and you're saying, look at the giraffe, look at the... I mean, is that part of this, or are there things you can download?
Things that a parent can do with their child is play with them.
Okay.
Is play with them. We roll balls at children and to children. It's a thing that develops with when we're looking close, we look far, we look mid-distance, we look far, we look close. Playing outdoors is one of the best ways to develop a child's visual skills.
So it's actual therapeutic.
It is.
When you're playing,
yes,
and you're teaching them how to catch a ball or bounce a ball.
Handing a toddler anything with a screen is the worst thing you can do for developing their vision. You don't hand a toddler a telephone or an iPad or anything with a screen, and that may be very unpopular to your listeners, but it's the truth. Children need to be playing on their feet at movement speed with toys, with other children, with other adults, not looking at a screen.
And they're developing eye skills as they
correct.
do that. I never knew this.
Yes.
Yeah, again, you think about fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and so on. But yeah, you're pulling the eye in on all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's why the preschool vision screening part of the work that we do is so critical, because we serve the whole gamut of ages and visual impairments. So when we start with prevention, and we mentioned diabetes prevention, but preschool vision screening across 7 counties, I mean, that's how many kids are screened a year?
A few thousand.
Yeah, almost 2,000 kids. And we are able to make referrals if we catch something. We see things like nystigmatism.
Yep.
No, I was close.
Okay, we do see astigmatism, but
I put it together.
I know strabismus, amblyopia. Your listeners would know that as crossed eyes or lazy eye.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so in the general population, between 6 and 8% of children fail the vision screenings. Our numbers are spot on. We're at 6.5% pretty much regularly every year. We refer those children, sometimes as many as 400 kids a year, for professional follow-up with an optometrist or an ophthalmologist. Most of those kids need an eye exam and a little pair of glasses.
Okay.
We find a few every year that have other problems, like the nystagmus, astigmatism, anisotropia. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy words that we don't need to really share here. And once every 5 to 10 years, because I've been there 26 years, once every 5 to 10 years, we find a kid with a brain tumor, with an optic nerve tumor, with something really serious.
And you're catching that.
We are catching
in
that.
the screening.
Yes.
Is there such a thing as a pediatric optometrist, or
Yes.
they pretty much know the whole gamut age-wise?
We have
when
one
they're
of
in
the
that
best
space?
pediatric ophthalmologists in the country, right here in Erie, in Nick Sala, right here on 12th Street.
There you go.
I mean, there is no better that I'm aware of. And he has a pediatric optometrist working for him as well. There's also a developmental optometrist in town, Doug Villela, although I think he's retiring. So we're fortunate in Erie to have really good eye care.
Concerned about eye health, well, a lot of people are. 1 in 10 adults over 65 are living with some form of vision loss. Thousands of neighbors navigating the world with a limited eye thing. You know, for me right now, it's like, I don't want to drive at night. It just gets worse as you get older, you know, driving at night. It's like, you know, I'd rather not.
You know, Joel.
Here we go. Yes, Doc.
We hear this a lot.
Right.
That, well, you know, it's just a normal part of aging. And the truth of the matter is that it is not. It is a function of diet and lifestyle more often than anything else.
Okay, expand.
Nutrition is very closely connected to your eyesight and the health of your eyeballs. And the better your nutrition, the longer your eyes stay healthy and functional.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of metabolic syndrome is putting stress on those capillaries, right? I mean,
Right.
That's right.
as we get right to the physiology
Very
of it all.
definitely.
Yeah.
So the retina, if you picture, oh, I love doing this. If you picture your eyeball like a big empty gumball, on the back of that gumball is a very thin tissue called the retina. But that very thin tissue, if you were to look at it with the naked eye, it's thinner than a single ply piece of toilet paper. But it's actually made up of 10 layers.
Oh, well.
Very, very, very thin layers. One of the more important layers is called the epithelial layer. And I think I've got that word right. And you can thicken and strengthen that epithelial layer within 120 days of dietary changes. Visibly. That layer is what rips, tears. You get little deposits of cholesterol called drusen. That's responsible for your age-related macular degeneration. Tears a little tiny hole in that epithelial layer. Well, the thicker and stronger and healthier those layers are, the longer they withstand the onslaught of environmental factors that we're all up against. We can't really change the quality of our air or some of those other things, but we can strengthen our eyes' ability to withstand them.
All right,
through
so,
nutrition.
I mean, I always heard that if you eat carrots, you have better eyesight. I mean,
Your
That
mother
is
was
true.
right.
That is true.
are you, it's not a wise tale.
Beta
huh?
carotene is great for your eyes. Unless you're a
Wow.
smoker, don't smoke and take beta carotene. Beta carotene plus nicotine equals cancer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we could talk about this all day.
Dark leafy greens.
Dark leafy
all those,
greens.
yeah.
I always tell people to eat the rainbow. And the
Right.
darker,
Yeah.
the richer colors in your nature-made foods, the better they are for your eyes. We also tell people if it's really good for your heart, it's probably good for your eyes. So those two things kind of go hand in hand. Berries, one of the best things you can do. Blueberries, cranberries, the darker the berry, the better. We
Well,
hear
then you'd want blackberries, I would think.
absolutely blackberries would be awesome. You hear a lot of people talk about lutein. And it's in a lot of our vitamin preparations
Okay.
now. You'll see preservation plus lutein. That's really a good one. Best place to get lutein is in your dark yellow egg yolks and dark yellow corns, the dark yellow and orange colored
I
vegetables.
want to say those are the brown eggs are generally darker yolk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. My wife loves the brown eggs.
I'll tell you my
Sam's
favorite
Club,
combination of food and beverage
Yeah.
that's good for your eyes: red wine and dark chocolate.
Well, that's not bad at all. I could handle that.
It does not have to be painful.
This is astounding because people think about everything else. They
Yeah.
think about their waistline. They think
Yes.
about their muscles or whatever. They're not thinking about their eyes.
Right.
And your job
Yes.
is to get people thinking about their eyes.
You got it.
Exactly.
Thank you for having us here today.
Yeah, I mean, so that would impact those folks in those middle years of saying, you know what,
Yeah.
these are good habits. These are best practices.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the best practice is too, though, is an annual dilated eye exam with your eye care professional.
Annual.
Yes.
So not every insurance will pay for that.
No, I know. You know what? I'll tell you a sneaky little secret, though. If you have any thought that you have a condition of the eye, your medical insurance will pay for that alternate year examination.
Okay.
So a condition of the eye would be, we suspect cataracts, we suspect dry eye. You can get that annual exam done.
How you mentioned macular what is it again?
Degeneration.
You have wet MD, dry MD. When does that start coming about, and how do you fight that, I guess?
Well, interesting. When I started with the Sight Center 26 years ago, the average age of onset of that type of disease was 72. And in the 26 years, that has changed to 62.
So 10 years.
10 years different.
You have been called
To do good.
To feed the hungry.
to love with action,
to be a light in the darkness,
To love your neighbor.
To teach wisdom.
To walk humbly.
To love mercy.
To care for the least of these.
Will you accept the call?
This is our city.
Our mission.
Visit eriecitymission.org/volunteer to accept the call today.
All year round, Frontier Home Products and Design has what you need to make your home comfortable and beautiful. Relax on a new timber tech deck designed by Frontier's experts. A new fireplace from Frontier Home Products Fireplace Gallery adds warmth and serenity to any home. Beauty and versatility at Frontier Home Products and Design Center, 4213 Peachtree, 5th next to the Bayfront Highway.
Frontier Home Products and Design Center. Discover a new frontier.
PA contractor number PA039007.
I want you to talk about prevention, and I want to kind of go a little bit deeper in some of these classes and, the things that you teach and the things that you have to offer. Why don't you start, Shannon, as far as, these prevention of blindness services that you offer there?
So start with preschool?
Well, I mean,
talked about that.
We already talked about that, yeah.
I want to get into our vision rehabilitation, and it's going
Okay.
to touch on a lot of different programs and services because I'm going to do it through a little client story.
Okay.
Okay. So, a gentleman in his late 60s came to us after being diagnosed with a progressive eye condition. So, of course, he was very frustrated, started losing his confidence, feeling a little isolated, and we were able to step in and help him. First of all, what we did is we scheduled him for a low vision evaluation.
What is that? Okay, what's that?
A low vision evaluation is with an optometrist who specializes in low vision. So
what's the definition of low vision?
So
what is that?
once you've gone to the doctor and they say, Joel, there is no greater prescription we can give you, you're that's where you are.
Yeah.
But you really are having a difficult time seeing. What this low vision evaluation does is determines what level of functional or usable vision you have remaining. So even individuals who are considered blind often still have some tiny bit of vision. We just have to find it and then teach you how to use it.
Okay.
So that's exactly what we did for this gentleman. So we go through the examination, we find what functional vision remains, and then we're able to work with a case manager and others and an occupational therapist. We can work with you and devices, magnifiers, lighting, different tools and techniques to help you be successful in your day-to-day tasks.
So you're kind of even doing like an evaluation where they live on how to kind of set up their house.
Absolutely.
Set up their workplace.
We also have a peer-to-peer support group called the Wednesday Club, and they meet bi-monthly. And so this is another opportunity to come together, because often, and we talked about this, that our aging population with the vision challenges that they face, and you mentioned, hearing loss, they are at higher risk for isolation and loneliness. So we really want to get them around other people who are experiencing the same challenges. And so this Wednesday Club meets at the site center most times, but they also are out in community. So they get out and go on field trips. They have speakers come in. We have a wonderful relationship with Gannon University and the occupational therapy department. So they have students that come over for the Wednesday Club, and they add well-being element to the program. So they're showing them how to do certain exercises and how to manage their stress and frustration. Maybe they're going to learn how to do meditation or
breathing exercises, chair exercises.
Yeah, so that's been a really great addition to the program. But one thing that they do is just have that opportunity to exchange ideas. And, this is what's working for me. This is how I approach this. And there's a lot of conversation. They're a very chatty group. And the building is all abuzz on a Wednesday when they're coming in. So that's been a really powerful resource for a lot of our clients. In addition, going back to this story of this gentleman, so he realized, well, how am I going to get to my doctor's appointments? I can't drive anymore. And so we offer transportation services.
Do you really?
Yes, yes. And it is amazing because it is so much more than just a drive. It is a driver that really comes and helps you, the client, get out of your home, get into the vehicle, go to the doctor's appointment, make sure you have what you need, make sure you understand the information you're taking with you. If you get prescriptions, we'll run you by the pharmacy. You need to get groceries, we'll stop at the grocery store and help you get those things back into the home. So it's really an all-inclusive service, and what we've heard from clients is your drivers are amazing. They become like the light in my day, because I know I'm going to be seeing someone, I'm having conversation, we're enjoying talking and listening to the radio together, and as we go from place to place. Right. So, and again, we're doing that across 7 counties. So you think about the trip that we have in Erie might be a 15-mile trip. That same kind of taking someone to a doctor's office or grocery store and back home could be
150 miles in Cameron County.
Right. Yes. So it's very different, but very, very vital to maintaining their independence and having individuals feel like I still have a good quality of life because I'm out and about, I'm doing the things that I would normally be doing, and again, that peer support group has been an amazing resource.
It makes me have to ask, how does this all get paid for?
I knew he was going to go there.
I was really afraid you were going to go there.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say one more thing about our drivers, because they are so special to the agency and the people we serve. They're like a group of angels. It's amazing to me.
That's very cool.
The way people love them and the way they care for our clients. One other thing that we need to talk about, which is unfortunate with people losing their vision and people who are blind, is food insecurity.
Really?
And yes, it is much more rampant in people who don't get out. They're underemployed, unemployed. Money is tight. And so one of the things that our drivers do is check the cupboards, check the refrigerator and the freezer. Make sure we're not eating spoiled food. Make sure that they're properly stocked to properly nourish themselves. And if they're not, we have a great relationship with the food bank, with Second Harvest, with all the local food banks, and we make really good use of those food banks to make sure that our clients are properly fed. And so that's just another way that our drivers are so much more than drivers.
Sure.
And then we also teach the life skills that go along with feeding yourself properly. So you come to the Wednesday Club and we line up the George Foreman grills and everybody learns how to cook a chicken breast safely without having to necessarily turn on the gas stove. So this is another service that we offer is life skills and cooking and personal hygiene and the things that people need to know to stay healthy and well in their own home. Okay, so how does it all get paid for? Good question, Joel. Interesting, because Shannon and I were working on our fundraising budget today, and we were asking ourselves, how are we going to pay for all of this? We are an 87-year-old agency, which is a blessing and a curse. But the biggest blessing of it is in years past, we had board members who had the foresight that when somebody died and left their estate to us, they invested it prudently. We have some very significant investments that we use to spin off a little spending money every single month. We are also funded, as I mentioned before, by a Commonwealth contract, a set of contracts with the Commonwealth.
Kind of a fee for service kind of thing.
Yep. Here's the interesting part about those contracts. They were signed in 1974, and they had the exact same dollar amount in 1974 as they had 1 year ago in 2024. Wow. We got our first raise in 2025 after that many years.
After 50 years. Wow.
So you can imagine that all that money that we had rolling in 1974 went a lot farther than it does in 2025.
For sure.
So today, we are also no longer funded by the United Way. When they changed directions, we were one of the agencies, one of 38 agencies that were defunded, which is fine. So we do a lot of fundraising. When I started in 1999, I raised $150,000 a year for a new roof, a new car, a new copier. Today we're raising $650,000 to make payroll. So fundraising has become a distinct line of the Sight Center's business. Wow. And it is what we have to do. There are agencies in Pennsylvania who share this contract with the Commonwealth, with the Sight Center, who cut off services when the money runs out. It's a legitimate way to do business. I see that there's so much more need than there is money, that I'm willing to put myself out there, and Shannon's willing to put herself out there. We all put ourselves out there and seek the funds to continue to operate long past the end of a contract. So we don't turn anyone away. We just keep raising money, and we make it work. We pull it together. Every year it's a struggle. I would say every year it's a bigger struggle. Right. But we continue to fight the good fight rather than turn anyone away.
One of the big signature fundraisers is the Save an Eye football, the All-Star game.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Talk about that. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, we're so excited.
Yeah, we have been inundated with the Save an Eye football stuff, planning and so forth. I mean, anyway, the game is just around the corner. Friday, June 27th. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. We're going to be out at Harbor Creek High School at the stadium there. And a couple new things. We're having some food trucks come out. So come early. They're going to be ready to serve great food to you starting at 4 o'clock. It's just going to be a great time. We are really, really excited about that.
We have 4 cheerleading squads.
Nice.
We've got a marching band.
Just lots
We
happening.
really want this community to know that this is the second oldest high school all-star charity football game in the country.
Yep.
The oldest one is in Lancaster, PA, run by their Lions clubs. And so we have toughed it out for 87 years. It's a family-friendly event. We're trying to really increase that family-friendly nature to the event with the food trucks, by taking it out on the road or maybe out into the counties.
Lots of parking out there in Harbor.
Yeah.
There's more parking.
Plenty of
It's really
parking.
well lit. We love the stadium.
Sure.
I mean, that is historically the site of the Save an Eye football game.
For
And
sure.
there are those purists who want it to stay at the stadium. And it will go back to the stadium at some point. It really will. But we're trying to spread it around a little bit too into the counties, and the parking and the light and all of that is kind of important to get more families involved in this year's game.
Yeah.
So again, that's the 27th?
27th, and you can get tickets online. You can, to get that code for the online store, you can either check out Sight Center on Facebook or the Erie Lions Club. Stop in your country fairs. They are selling the tickets now, and then, of course, we will be selling tickets at the door.
Terrific. Yeah. How important is Erie Gives to the Sight Center?
So important.
Great question.
So important. Erie Gives Day, I mean, not only is it an amazing event that really highlights how strong our community is when we talk about the nonprofits, over 500 nonprofits here in Erie that participate in that day of giving. So, of course, when you have an opportunity like that, we want to take advantage of it. But for us, in addition to the dollars that it raises, it's an opportunity for us to generate awareness, you know, just like being on this show today and having these conversations, and you were kind of surprised and shocked at some of the information, and we really just want people to know us before they need us. We like to say that.
We say it all the time. I'm going to get a T-shirt.
Yeah, and I think it's really important because when you start to have an issue with your vision, and let's say you go to your eye doctor, well, hopefully they're going to say, hey, check out the Sight Center.
Right.
But if you're not going to your doctor, you may not know who to turn to. I had the opportunity just the other week at Wednesday Club to meet a woman that was attending, and she said, the reason I'm here is because of this lady right here sitting beside of me. She invited me to come to Wednesday Club because I started having some vision issues. And so it's word of mouth through a lot of our programs. Someone comes to us, they have a wonderful experience, and they're out talking about how good they had, the experience was for them. So Erie Gives is just one more of those opportunities for us to talk about our mission, to talk about the individuals we serve and how we do our work. And that's just, again, an opportunity to have that broader reach.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So it's kind of a big deal.
It is a big
and it's
deal.
It's a great way for just somebody to drop even a small $25 gift.
For sure.
Everyone can be a philanthropist on Erie Gives Day.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the original intention behind Erie Gives Day. I happen to know the gentleman who started it at the Erie Community Foundation. I am married to him. And he learned about it through the Pittsburgh Foundation.
Right.
And brought it here to Erie, and it's been wildly successful. It's a great opportunity for everyone to be a philanthropist.
I love that we still have a growing Erie Gives Day, and I don't think Pittsburgh's still doing their online giving deal. I don't think they are.
I don't know about that. Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something.
We've heard that, there's a point of no return, and that people start getting diminishing return.
Oh,
that is not the case in Erie,
not
Pennsylvania.
Here, no.
Yeah.
In fact,
thankfully,
we kind of have that competitive spirit about
every year
it.
it gets better. In fact, for us, it's every year has gotten better. We calculate the number of donors, the number of gifts, and the average gift. Mm-hmm. And every single year since we started, we've gone up in both of those numbers. Mm-hmm. We've gotten a little bit larger average gift and a much bigger pool of donors.
That's true.
I want to take these last 2-3 minutes and really kind of lay the table, if you will, for how important it is for people to not neglect their eye health. And again, you have some vision facts and some best practices. So go. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, we have this aging population, right? I mean, we're just getting older.
Right.
Absolutely.
So your eye exam is the best prevention.
Annual
eye exam. Diet and nutrition and lifestyle. Next best prevention. Mm-hmm. Absolutely next best prevention. And don't think that you can't do it because you're not going to eat a bushel of blackberries. It only takes a handful.
Yeah.
So nutrition is within our reach to improve the health of our eyes.
What about these these pills and vitamins. Is there anything to them?
There absolutely is.
Okay.
They are the result of a huge longitudinal national study, and then an actual second study. It was called AREDS, Age-Related Eye Diseases Study. And they proved conclusively that nutrition, dietary supplementation can help improve and extend the life of your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, we recommend them.
Okay.
We recommend them. And
I'm trying to remember what the one that's on TV all the time.
Preservision.
Preservision,
that's one of them. I don't know. There's all kinds of them. Ocuvite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Centrum Silver Plus Vision. Those are all really, really actually beneficial.
Okay.
But in the event that someone is diagnosed with a severe vision loss, hit it, Shannon. She wrote this. I just think it's so beautiful.
Whether someone is newly diagnosed or has been living with vision loss for years, we're here to walk alongside them. Our goal isn't just to help people see better, it's to help them live better with dignity, purpose, and a strong sense of connection.
There's no doubt. And I love how you guys talk about the impact of your mental wellness with your eye health, and so on. So
Right.
that's
Absolutely.
That's super important.
So if you want to learn more, you can find us online, www.sightcenternwpa.org, or give us a call at 814-455-0995.
Yes.
Do you think the AI is going to be a net benefit for those with low vision?
Boy, I hope so.
You think that? Yeah, it probably will help on the therapies, and best practices, but also could help, for that person to just navigate life better through.
We've already got some really cool devices that are, on the horizon to help people that will read your mail for you, and you can walk through the grocery store wearing a thing on here mounted on your glasses, and it will tell you what you're seeing and what you're looking at. It reads the QR codes.
Right.
I think there are a lot of ways that AI and technology can help our aging population.
Fantastic.
In general.
Again, the website, Sight Center,
www.sightcenternwpa.org.
Fantastic. We appreciate you taking the time. Linda Moore, Executive Director, Shannon Wohlford, the Director of Marketing and the Annual Fund. Get a hold of these folks and learn more. And don't forget that screening, folks.
You've been listening to The Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast from TalkErie.com. Subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher and get involved by emailing joel@TalkErie.com.